Hi, welcome to bcghosttowns.com. My name's John Mitchell, and today we're heading off to Granite City, an 1885 real gold rush town, or what's left of it. Let's check it out. Granite City never really was a city. It never had a mayor or an alderman. It never had churches or schools either. What it did have was a population that rivaled Vancouver's, and some say even exceeded. A drifter cowboy by the name of Johnny Chance was resting by this creek. He noticed gold. He filled a poke of it in 45 minutes, and the rush was on. Pioneer woman Susan Allison said
Johnny Chance was just a lazy cowboy.
Nevertheless, his fame spread far and wide as the guy who discovered the Granite Creek Gold Rush. Life was really hard for these early miners. From sunup to sundown, they had their hands in cold water and they were working hard physical labor. The evening was a time when you could mend your socks, get your beans soaking, bake some bread, all the things that you needed to stay alive and to keep going. This was the time to do it at night. If you were lucky, you got a few hours of sleep. Oh yeah, did I mention that you might have walked 5 miles into town and crawled 5 miles back after quenching your thirst? The bars ran wide open, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, shoulder to shoulder, drinking room only. I first came to Granite City in 1994 and was greeted by this empty plaque. It didn't take me long to figure out that the plaque had to be replaced, and with the help of some other good folks we named the Friends of Granite City, and today lots of people stop to read this little short description of the town. Just behind the plaque runs Granite Creek, and just think, it was probably right down here that Johnny Chance discovered those first important nuggets that started the gold rush. In the early days of the gold rush, miners were finding something in their pan. What that something was platinum. They didn't know it had any value, and often they would just throw it into the corners of their cabins. This came in quite handy in the 1930s when people definitely did know what platinum was worth, and it kind of saved the day for a lot of people who came in and repanned out the foundations of these old cabins. In some cases they burnt them down to do that. Right at the foot of the town here, the gentleman who owned this claim, he was doing real well. He was taking $400 a day. Of course, he never got rich because he was spending $400 a day in the saloons. Once the Kettle Valley Railway passed by the foot of Granite City, but now it's a ghost railway and only people hike along this old run. Around 1970, an American draft dodger decided he could use this cabin to live in for his wife and child. He cleaned up the outside, he cleaned up the inside, but while cleaning the inside, small packets of brown paper wrapped items were falling out of the rafters and out of behind the walls. He didn't pay that much attention until one popped open. What it revealed was early Canadian paper currency. At the end of the day, when he added up all of the packets that he found that it amounted to $10,000. He took it to the bank in Princeton. They gave him $10,000 for the item, no questions asked, and the bank manager did quite well down with the coin dealers in Vancouver, so he got his part of the treasure as well. One of the nicest headstones in the old Granite Creek Cemetery is Foxcrow Percival Cook's. He was a general merchant, had 3 general stores, one in Granite, one in Colmont, and one in Princeton. This is all that's left of his old store. These burnt-out ruins are all that's left of a ground-eating monstrosity called a gold dredge. This machine would work its way through its very own channel by digging gold-bearing gravel from the front, running it through these channels, and spitting the excess gravel out, hopefully leaving a bunch of gold behind. Yeah, this gold dredge, its power source was steam, but really it ran on electricity. It just created electricity with steam power. It did its work in the 1930s, and when it stopped paying wages, it stopped. And it was abandoned right here as you see it today. Well, maybe a little better condition. Granite Creek has been used since 1885. Just about every generation has got its use for this old town site. Once was as a supply depot for the surrounding areas and mines long after the gold rush. It even housed 3 houses of ill repute, and they serviced the Blakeburn camp, which is just up the road. It eventually, in the 1950s, 3 gentlemen by the name of Bill all lived on the site. Why 3 Bills? I don't know. But the remains of their houses are still there today. Granite City is loosely watched over by the BC Forest Service. That is, there's no outhouses, there's no services on the site. But just off the site, within easy walking distance, is a BC Forest Service campground with outhouses. And sometimes treasure isn't just gold or silver or rings or minerals. Sometimes the real treasure is just the history and the feeling you get from a place. The Princeton Museum will be happy to show you the original claim application that Johnny Chance filed as the founder of Granite Creek.